Hello.
I've yet to meet one that can outsmart bullets.
Hello. Hello.
We're just gonna get right into it. We're not gonna dick around with chat and such like that, because I have like no funny thingy-majiggies to talk about. Hang on. Hands. Let's work. Yes. Wait, additional content already? Ah, okay. Nope, never mind. All right, settings. Blood. Motion. Okay,
that's it. I'm gonna spit in your mouth.
do not spit in my mouth. Is this a new game? Yes,
Now
it
that
is.
is what we call a skill issue.
It is a new game that came out, it came out today, I want to say. There's a lot of games that are coming out in like September, October. 8 ads. You only have to deal with the ads at the start of the stream. And then you deal with them like every 30 minutes or something like that. Like every 30 minutes there'll be like 3 advertisement or something, so it goes like a minute and a half. There's 2 to 3 minutes of advertisement in the first minute, just so then that way peeps don't have to deal with advertisement for like the first hour on stream. And let's be real, am I really talking during the 3 minutes there? Probably not. I want the Amazeballs ads back. Oh, remember, what was the name of the dude where it was talking about like the Optus Flex Mobile? It was just like Flex. Now we don't have that. We just have like, I haven't seen an advertisement in a while though. I will be real with you, and the reason for that is because I have I've canceled a lot of my Twitch subscriptions, I will be real with you, but I haven't canceled Twitch Turbo, which makes it so that any streamer I want to watch, I don't get advertisement. And if there would be an advertisement going off while someone with Twitch Turbo is watching the stream, their contributions will still go towards like the user's ad revenue kind of thing. So for example, like I can if I have like say 50 people watching my stream while an advertisement is going off and all of them are Twitch Turbo peeps, I'm still gonna make money off of the advertisement being run, even if everyone is a Twitch Turbo user. They just don't have to deal with ads, which is great. So, yeah. I don't know why people don't, you know, advertise the Twitch Turbo as strongly as they do. Like, maybe people are just, like, very much... Yep, we're gonna keep it at borderless. Let's go... Let's see if I can do 144 frames as a thingamadiggy here. DLSS set. Alright, we want this on quality. Rather than using AMD's thingamadoogie. Controllers have vibrations. Alrighty, I think I've got everything I need set up there. Oh, okay, never knew that about Turbo. Never even heard of Twitch Turbo until now. I don't know why they don't advertise. Like, that's why I have it in my link now of, hey, if you don't want to see advertisements, you can subscribe to me or subscribe to Twitch Turbo, where you don't have to deal with anyone's advertisements. But, you know, I'll get people still being like, what the fuck? 8 advertisements when the zebra is not on stream and he's taking like 5 minutes to get ready. I could be missing out on some quality countdown content. In honor of the great writer Carlo Collodi. I don't know who Carlo Collodi is. I honestly thought it was like a Beavis and Butthead name, like, I am the great Cornelio. Aw, butterfly's dead. You killed the butterfly. Alrighty. Nice. Alrighty.
Ah, there you are.
Oh my gosh, look how slow I
I've been
move.
looking all over for you.
The left arm of steel. Okay.
Did you see it?
There's a green thing on the floor. You'll be back in a few minutes. You're gonna heat up some leftover spaghetti. Spaghetti? Gonna leave some spaghetti.
I see they got Jiminy too. But we have to hurry.
I thought Jet...
Please escort him to the hotel.
Okay. I swear that says Gemini, not Gemini. Alright, select the lower belt. Okay. Hold to activate the extra bag, and then use item to use them. Alright. Nice. Alright, so there's... Get the most loyal servant. Hang on, can you guys... Hang on, let me zoom in. Get the most loyal Now, is that supposed to say the man is the loyal servant because, you know, he's standing up and such? Or is this still, like, really classist, where it's saying, like, the woman is, like, the servant here? And then we got the Marvelous Puppet Show here and there. The VN. But get the most loyal servant. Which one? You don't know? That's okay. I don't know either. This is me, open-ended question. This is gonna be great.
Let's get you out of there.
There is some artistic...
Find something that might help.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Get some better lines, furry cures.
But
Hey.
the streets are not safe. Arm yourself with one of the weapons over there.
Oh goodness, Avalon. Which one do I pick?
To the hotel.
Wait, Avalon's not here. All right, so we've got the Path of the Cricket for balance, the Path of the Bastard for dexterity, and the Path of the Sweeper. Lol. Oh, gee. Let's just go for balance for now. Cause like we don't know whether we're gonna prioritize one or the other.
Recommend escaping from this location.
Oh boy. Here we go. Oh, it's cool seeing his arm like do a whole like vroom. Does like some electric shit. Oh, everyone's dead. Alrighty. Keystone, cancelled. Dacia, cancelled. St. Martin, cancelled. Blue Fairy. Interesting. For fuck's sake, I need to use the loo and someone didn't what? Oh my god, this game doesn't have proper pausing. Shit. Oh no. Why? Why do you do this to me, game? Why does everyone think the Dark Souls option of, oh, let's not introduce a pause button was a good idea? The fuck is this? Nice. You use okay, so this is our Estus flasks. Punch him. Punch him in the dick or the butt. Make him very much aware that flushing is important. We're no longer in a drought in Australia. You can flush the toilet. Ooh. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Alrighty. Alright, so we get fragments and shit. Oh, look at me, all dirty and mud. Cookie for Bookie! We're entering El Nino. It gonna be dry and warm. Wait, are you in like a van or what are you in? Houses don't move around. You can block, if your guard is successful, your character will take reduced damage, but will be transferred to guard regain, but gradually decreases. When you can attack enemies to recover HP. If you guard succeeds right before hit, it triggers a perfect guard. You will not receive damage, only stamina is consumed. You can use the perfect guard to destroy an enemy's weapon or put the enemy in a staggerable state. Okay. Sounds interesting.
You cannot see in the dark. Switch me on and gently will light away.
Wait, was there a glint? I swear I saw a glint. Nope, nope, it's when he hits me. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Nope, I'm still over-exaggerating. Yeah. Thermite is an interesting thing to have. Don't know why we'd have it. Alright. Also, hand. There we go. My hand tracking doesn't work too well while I'm in the middle of holding a controller, which is a shame. The only other way I could control my hands is if I get, like, the obscure, like, hand tracking gloves, which I think would be pretty cool. I just don't know whether or not it would be worth it. Oh, that is violent. I like that. Is there someone... It sounds like there's someone down there, like someone heavy, lugging... Yes, there's someone down there just punching shit out. Alright. Whee! Thank you for the oh my goodness! Hang on, I can say this properly. Hi, Bun. Ephronasia Bun. Did I say that correctly? Hopefully I said that correctly. I believe in you. What is that? What is that? That is correct? Oh, sweet. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. I've seen you like I've seen you on like Blue Sky, and I think I've seen you like in some of the other Discords, cuz you stream as well, don't you? I've not had an opportunity of watching one of your streams, I'm sorry to say. And I keep telling myself, you know, rather than like watching the same like fucking streamers from the States and such like that, you should watch like some of the other peeps like Ephronasia over here. And it's like, I keep forgetting this. Okay, dashing is a terrible idea when I can just walk up slowly and do... Here we go, here we go, here we go. Stealth! You've been perceived by you, it seems. Yes. I can perceive things. Ow. Alrighty, so definitely Dark Souls nonsense. Attacking enemies with a weapon will charge your pulse thingy-majiggy. Nice. Cool. So yeah. But welcome. If one of my moderators is online, could you please shout out Ephronasia Bun, please? You're downloading this game, you're excited to try it, I'm sure you'll do awfully. Aw, don't say that. Like, my reaction times are not that great either, let me be real with you. There's probably, like, I remember, there was, like, a guy, I think his name is Iron Pineapple or something like that. They have, like, this thing called Steam Dumpster Diving, where they go through all kinds of different Dark Souls-like games, and this was one of them when it was in a demo and shit. Now, he's, obviously, if you're gonna be playing nothing but Dark Souls, you're probably gonna be doing well at it. However, if you're an average gamer like me, you're probably not gonna do too well at it. You'll know how the thingies work and such like that, and, you know, Jedi Survivor might do it for you, but then games like these, where it's asking for way more minute kind of timing and composure, might not work as well. There are doors and ladders all throughout Krat that are locked. Yep, okay, so that's how we... So that's the Metroidvania nonsense. And if we press this button... Nice. Okay, so... Alright, so we don't... And then we've got amulets, and then we've got defense parts. Interesting. Cartridge and liners. Alright, upper belt. Last immediate player death upon use. Releases all of the P organ's energies at once. Okay. Supply puppet abilities. Rapidly recharge Fable. I don't know what Fable is. And these are throwable items. Huh. And then we've got gestures. Neat. Alright, oh, and costumes. Nice. Alright, none of those will help me, so. The P... I don't know why they call it the P organ, I will be real with you. Alrighty, we likely have to face off against that thing. It's not gonna be great. We'll see how we... How big is my dash? Oh, it is not a big roll. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Oh, he does it in threes. Lie or die. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Consuming Fable slots to use Fable Arts. Fable Arts vary for each blade. I have no clue what that means. Ah, thank you for the Fs, Leo the Ferret. Glad to see someone new has figured out the Fs do something. Yeah, it's a bit... It's not super telegraphed, I will be easy with you. But... We'll see how we go through this. Also, hi there, Sir Dragon. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so if I wanted to... Alright, so that's how you switch weapons. Thank you for the Fs. Thank you. The aesthetics of this game look good. Can you customize the character from zero? Nah, there's no customization like there was in Dark Souls, but there might be costumes, which I'm interested to see how those will operate. Interesting. Press triangle to use Fable Arts. Have distinct blades and handles that each have their own Fable Arts. Different Fable Arts use a different number of slots, charged by attacking enemies with weapons. Interesting. Oof. Oh, this is like probably a tutorial boss either. Thank you for the Fs. This is gonna be good. I did not think I was gonna get this kind of difficulty, I'm gonna be real with you. Alrighty. Go. So there is a weapon durability thing in this game. Also, who stole my shirt? When did that happen? Leo? How did you get the points to do my God darn you. Gosh darn you. There we go. There's that. Okay, so that fully whatsamahoozies. And then... Okay, there we go. So there is a stagger thing. You've been lurking for a while. I usually catch your streams around 2 to 3 a.m. Oh god, you're an American. There we go, and then... Oh god, that doesn't even, like, get rid of him. Essential main entrance and a Workshop Union's light frame thingamadoogies. Alright, so that charges it and such. That fixes up the durability, which I imagine is actually probably a little bit helpful. Another sawtooth wheel. The fuck am I going? So I dropped down, so I'm here. I'm down on the ground. Is it wanting me back out here for some reason? And then... So I can't open that door. Is it wanting me to open... Yeah, it's wanting me to open this door. It's wanting me to open that door. Alrighty then. Welcome to Krat. Hopefully I'm saying that name correctly. Krat. Hi there, Zarex Jaeger. Welcome to the stream. Oh, this is our bonfire.
This is called a stargazer. A marvelous device the stalkers used in the past.
Warning. Puppet threshold exceeds danger estimates.
As we are not strong enough to beat the puppets. Gather ergo, clever one. But the stargazer's strength doesn't last forever. So...
Oh, it doesn't last for what? Alright, so HP, guard regeneration, stamina, capacity. Okay, so motivity helps with physical attack as well. Both of these help with that. Advance helps me with the Legion and shit. That doesn't make sense. Alright, let's get you up to 10. Yep, I reckon that's good. This is gonna be one of those fun ones for sure. Alright, so weapons, blades and handles, amulets. And then, looks like... was made in the puppet shop for the purpose of improving strength while limiting the weight increase as much as possible. However, its weight is significantly greater than the standard. Noted. Ah, dead horse. Sorry, little one. Alright, let's try on you. Alright, so you can't hold down the thing, I think, for like just 100% damage mitigation once you succeed on the first. Let's see. And it does... there is an advantage to swapping from one heavy attack to a light attack, so there is like fun little combo shit. Or it's just taking advantage of combo full stop. Never mind. Okay. Also, go up here. X, go down here. It's weird to, like, swap between one of the items at the bottom for healing and something else, but I guess they just didn't want to use the D-pad as, like, the item usage thing. And have you, like, fiddling around. Yay, you can break the boxes, thank goodness. Alright, let's see if I can... Nice. Alright, so that's obviously a shortcut, hence why this guy would probably be facing in the direction. The shirt is back. Yes, the shirt is back. I can't be topless all the time, especially back in the day when I had my nipples showing. That was a time where I thought I needed to try and, you know, be sex appeal. Like, I'm still sex appeal, like, if I'm being real, hence why I'm still using this zebra model with the shirt taking off at times, rather than just, you know, doing an IRL. Fable Catalyst, there we go. But, like, you know, I didn't have to be, like, huge sex, like, there was this, there was like this just chatting streamer who, like, has, like, real big bazongas, and I don't know what it is that, like, upsets me about how they set up, because I don't mind the big booba thing. The thing that gets me is just how, like, I'm very self-conscious in, you know, just going through these things like blank face and what have you, because I feel like my model, I don't do it justice in doing expressions and what have you, like eyebrows movement and such. But meanwhile, like, I'm seeing this user, this IRL streamer, sits there, like, sort of like this. Giant bazongas, like, you know, crop top kind of thing. And it's just sort of like a... Yeah, okay. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's good to meet you. Oh, thank you for the follow. Like, it just feels like relative, like, low, like the energy is low, but it's not like ASMR low energy where it's like, oh, you're doing what you can to, you know, keep the thingy-madoogies, like, not too exciting, but then, I don't know, something about it. But they do the hustle. A bit stale, that might be it, a bit stale. And that's, like, I worry about that in myself, and then when seeing it, like, other streamers, like, big streamers, both physically and, you know, stat-wise, when they're stale, I'm just sort of having this moment of, like, like, am I just not the right kind of stale people like? Like, is there stale that people actually enjoy, where they're just sort of like, they'll watch the streamer and they may look at me and they'll be like, dude, shut up. Alright, hang on. Alright, nothing there. Another shortcut here? Yeah, it looks like another shortcut. Okay, so this looks like the center of the city, so to speak, because it's like at the train station and such. Alrighty. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, and... So far, 3 hits, I'm fine. I just don't have the blocking down to pat. Also, who the fuck shot me? Is there any... It looks like there's a way to get to you. Hang on. Oh, it was this way. Okay. Oh, because there's a... Nice, there's a down... There's like a down spike thingy-majiggy. That's cool. Alrighty. So, mechanically speaking, very similar to Dark Souls. It doesn't do the perfect job of jump scares, I will be real with you. Like with this out, like, because I thought there would be a jump scare sort of thing, like a little more further down, like here, which it was kind of true, but, you know, wasn't perfect. And then this one here, it almost got me. Oh, actually, no, this was a good one. This was a nice bamboozle. I'll give him that. It does a nice bamboozle. So yeah, and then it makes me... Hello? Can I... Nope, I can't answer that. Alright, that's a shame. Now, I feel like there would be something here. I feel like there should be. Oh. It's not open via that side. Okay. So, a lot of... Some enemies become red and use a strong attack. You can't dodge or guard, but you can counter with a perfect... Oh, no. They really want you learning to perfect guard. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, what kind of telegraphing is that? That's the... I don't know how I feel about some of these enemies. Like, the flourish is kind of cool. But then I feel like, oh, you're... Like, I feel like they're supposed to do short flourishes, not long ones. And I can't remember if this is just a me being shit at the game kind of thing, or me, like... being valid in the flourishes. Alright, let's see. Oh. So I got that right. Ow, fuck you. Legion is... Wait, there's a wolf man? The fuck is the... Okay, great. So this is gonna be a long run. When you die, death is dropped on the spot. Wait. They've only told me this now. I wasn't meant to die to that earlier thing. Oh, this is gonna be joyous. Alrighty. Yep. Okay, sawtooth wheel, thank you. Alright. Yeah, and the block isn't very like... There we go. Alright. Now comes the part where I'm... Now comes the, like, running to pick up my shit. Go. Ah!
Arenda Ho with the 7-month tier 1 sub. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Come on. Night, Arnett. Oh, how is that not a... There we go. How was that not, like, a perfect guard when he, like, 2 attacks ago? That's bull. There we go. Pick up that. Echoes recovered. Good to see. Alright, who the fuck is up here? Does this give me... Yep, cool, it does. Excellent, good to see. Nope, it doesn't. An urgent Oh, I thought that was gonna open. But yeah, thank you so much for the... Ooh, 7 months. Thank you for the 7 months, Arndao. I really appreciate it. Forgive me if I'm not super chatty. This game is really getting into me. Oh yes, it's getting to me. Something about this. There's something about this. Alright, will this open up for me? Awesome, it will. Where does this lead? Alright, so that's where it's leading. Alright, cool. Everyone is dead.
Blocking the entrance, and that's the only way in.
Oh, it's a circus.
Be careful.
Nice. All right. What's up with this guy?
Hello there. Welcome to Krat, visitor.
Is he
I
a
didn't think there
puppet
were any
or is he a
stalkers
real
left to fight the
person?
puppets. You didn't hear? Figures. The whole organization fell apart. All that's left are wannabes and amateurs who think they can fight on their own. You ought to buy something while you're at the festival. You can't rely on yourself alone.
Fair enough, wandering merchant.
Out here alone? You could use some help.
Throwing cell, a large output that can be thrown, impacting electrical thingamadoogs. Temporarily abuse it with... Ooh. And then, alright, so puppet saber, great sword of fate, and a great sword handle. Interesting. Alright, so I think I'm using this one. I'm using the puppet slash, where the guard ability is damage reduction rate when guarded is 50, 65, and that has a thing called guard parry. Interesting. Alright, so... why stalkers are prepared to face... I'm curious how this will play out. Oh. Okay. So you can buy multiples for whatever reason. We'll buy one, and we'll see how it plays out. And then we can, like, sell these. And then that's catalyst stuff. Equipment, defense parts. Yep, so that increases our weight. We got no amulets. No other thingamadoogies there. We cannot change our arm. Alright, bottom belt. Alright. Let's put that in there. Actually, no, let's put this in the top half. And then... bottom, we're gonna put in... an emergency toolkit made by Venegini immediately restores weapon durability. An emergency repair tool that Venegini made to support stalkers. Regrettably, its manufacturing facility was destroyed during the puppet's occupation, so it has become a rare item. Alright, well, translation is telling me, don't fuck with it. And then character info. Doesn't really tell me much. That's my bag of things. And then collectibles there. Alright, let's use the Stargazer. And let's... Hang on. What was... Oh, okay, so it's about... So it's C grade across both. So it takes on like a balanced amount to get the damage. What is down there? Oh, okay, just... Here arrives the... Here arrives a terrific puppet that will enliven the parade. Introducing Parade Master, a remarkable parade puppet model from the workshop to celebrate the great exhibition. Hello there, I am the Parade Master. I like singing and marching with people. Oh, Raid! Oh my gosh, hi there, Aito! Hi! Welcome everyone, hi! Welcome to the stream! My name is Grant, I'm a variety streamer. Yo, big Zeeb tits? Yes, big Zeeb tits, that's... that's me, a big Zeeb tits. Hi, welcome everyone, welcome. Name's Grant. I don't normally stream on Tuesdays, but I thought, fuck it, I want to play a game, and I decided I wanted to play Lies of P today because I didn't play it when the demo was out to get a feel of the game or anything like that, and I need to think of something new to play tomorrow, so it might be Lies of P, it might be Mortal Kombat 1, who the fuck knows? I certainly don't. I gotta go to work the next day. Oh, that's new. How was Valheim, Aito? Also, happy stream anniversary, by the by. If you need to get some rest and such like that, don't worry. You get your rest and all that. I will still be here. Hopefully, this won't be a problem. Oh, God. Okay, so this is an actual boss now. And... Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, that's the perfect art thing. And I didn't time that correctly. Or that. Oh, Jesus! Hi, Phantom. Cookie for the Phoenix. This game looks sick. Was looking into it. How is it? Bonk. It's a little bit tricky. And I feel like it wants to encourage the usage of Perfect Guard. The good news is, first boss, like first actual boss, I should say as well. If you die in a boss battle, is created at the entrance of the boss area. Oh, that's neat. So, yeah, so the previous, like, things I was dying to wasn't, like, the boss or anything like that. I've probably died, like, 3 or 4 times already, and this is, like... I'm pretty sure this is just the tutorial area as well. It's not... It feels like the Asylum in Dark Souls or something like that, for all we know for now. Alright, I am going to up... I'm gonna... Motivity, I think I'm gonna increase to 12. And I'm gonna purchase... I'm gonna purchase more of these things. Oh, he only has, like, 2 of those. Okay, so he has a limited stock of anything. Interesting. Alrighty. So, yeah, so... There are some bits of it that are very much just Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but it definitely cranks up some of the difficulty. Like Sekiro, where it's like, there's a lot more parrying involved in this. For example, unless I do a perfect parry, unless I get a perfect parry, I will get hit for damage. Like, for example, that red, for instance, I can't dodge it. I have to do a perfect parry. I swear that one was a perfect parry, but... There we go, and then you do a staggered enemy hit. Another thingy-madiggy. Somehow the Ultra Instincts hit me then. Amazing. I honestly didn't think I was going to succeed on this on the second go. That's good. That's pretty impressive. I should probably run prediction polls when we go into boss battles, shouldn't I? Thank you, Leo. Thank you for having my back. But my god, I do not have a lot of pulse, do I? The interesting thing about the pulse is that if you're out of like pulse energy, which is basically your Estus flask, they will start like you can just start attacking enemies, and I think it's either attacks or it's kills can replenish your flask, which I think is rather interesting. It's probably why they've chosen to make it like a low thingamadoog, why you only have like 3, but yeah. Because, yeah, like, I can't use any more. Alright, so that turns it off. That turns it on. This recharges my weapon durability the normal way. What's this? The greatest luxury you'll ever experience. Treat your... I did not read that all the way. Treat yourself to an unforgettable day. Noted. Okay, so puppets cannot enter into this hotel they're talking about. All right.
One more thing I should mention. The hotel's security excludes puppets like you. So you'll have to lie to get inside. You're a special puppet after all.
Apparently I'm special. The lady's voice in my head tells me I am special. Let's hope it doesn't get into my head any further than that. A lot of dead puppets. Oh, hello. It is always advantageous in these games to, you know, get dim echo. Okay, so it's not like important that I pick these up, but you still get something. No humans, only puppets. A lot of the puppets are here, and there was a lot of dead people back at the train station. Oh yeah, there was dead people at the train station. Don't think too hard about it. The hidden moonstone was not from this world. However, it was the most optimal... Oh my god. Why do you do this game? Character info... No, bag. Okay, here it is. The Moonstone was not from this world. However, it was the most optimal enhancement material. In this urgency, technicians pushed forward with using the Moonstone for weapon upgrades, without time to review it any further. Upgrades a normal weapon blade up to +3. P organ ability activation part. Interesting. I don't know why they picked P organ. They could have picked so much better names, and they went with P organ.
Welcome to the sanctuary of the Grand Covenant. Prove your identity. Who are you?
I'm a boy. Interesting.
Grand Covenant's fourth law. A puppet cannot lie. Welcome to Hotel Krat.
Nice. So, I'm guessing first law, puppets aren't meant to kill people. Second law, they're meant to follow the laws, the order of humans, so long as it doesn't impede on the first law. And then the third law is protecting themselves so long as it doesn't conflict with the first or second law. Hey, look! It's... I want to say it's Hungary? They have a lot of castles. Don't ask the Hungarians why they get to keep their castles. Also, I'm gonna get some sippies. Oh, we get, like, a magic stone in us. Oh, is this explaining us how we got our puppets? And they became a working force. They became a big working force. And an exhibition about the puppets. And a dude with church thingamajiggies, and then puppets doing amazing shit, but probably questionable with children. Oh, no, puppets going insane. That's never good. And killing people. With one of the puppets not really realizing the dangers. Puppets rioting before the thingamadoog. The lies of P, the femboy Dark Souls. It's not the femboy Dark Souls. It is Geppetto's Bloodborne. Oh, that's just... Why are puppets being that creative? Why are they throwing them onto statues and things? And then that is where we came from. We came from a train. And for some reason, we're a special puppet. Because a butterfly landed on us and lets us lie. Choi Jawong, I hope you've made a great game. If AI robot is taken from the Victorian era. Yeah, honestly. Well, to be fair, I think that's where we got, like, a lot of our, Wait, no, H.G. Wells was the time travel. That was Victorian era. Ooh. Ah, yes, we have to, like, look at... Oh, wait, no, we're looking at the butterfly, not the boobies. Okay, we're looking at the butterfly thing. And she's got blue hair.
I'm so happy to see you.
Hi, I'm Grant. Aw, thank you for the follow, Wait, I thought you said you were following me for a while. Thank you for the follow, Leo.
Searched all over the city of Krot to find you.
You're thin,
You must
Jesus.
have questions. Geppetto will have answers.
Geppetto.
But we have to find him first.
Alright.
He was last seen on Elysian Boulevard. All of Krot is dangerous.
I love ravens. Caw, caw. Thank you for the follow. Caw,
Please find
caw.
Geppetto on Elysian Boulevard. I'll explain more once you find him.
Oh yeah, her lips are moving. I just wasn't noticing it very well. You can level up through Sophia using the ergo in your possession. Oh, I was already doing that, but okay. Let's... Oh! Oh! We can increase, like, the percentage of our guard with the vitality. Okay, yep. Probably gonna make Vitality, like, one of our more primary. And then our Legion arm uses Motivity and Technique as our two thingy. Okay, so it's the same as... Right, okay.
Look at Gemini. I think he's in shock.
The fuck is Gemini?
Gemini is fine.
Oh. Oh, he's the cricket in my thingy.
The real Gemini isn't so calm.
Nice.
I'm no inventor, but perhaps I can fix him. Or perhaps he'll fix himself in time. Wait, take this pocket watch. Krat is a labyrinth of peril right now.
Oh my god, there's another raid! Oh my god, there's a lot of people here. Oh, hi everyone! Oh,
Clever one.
there's an advertisement that's going off for another 8 seconds, I'm sorry to say. Hang on a second. And there's no proper pause button. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Hello, everyone! Welcome back from the advertisement and from the raid. Welcome, welcome. My name is Grant. I am a variety himbo streamer, as you can see by the shirt that I wear. I play like a variety of games, and for tonight, we're going through The Lies of Pi. How was your game? Hang on a second. Let me Alt-Tab, and because I missed your thingy-majiggy. How was Payday 3? Hi there. Hi there. Let's see. Mercy Wolf, Lurk Kobold, raid from the... I'm sorry. Are your tits bouncing? Yes, they are. That is a... Like, don't yours? Don't yours? Like, when you have, like, absolute giant booba? Do you think they just, like, sit, like, perfectly stiff, like a flexing bicep? No, they do a little bit of moving around. Like, see? Like, look at this. This is the left one. This is the right one. And then I can be like trying to squeeze them in. Let me just, there we go. You can change the letters a little bit. So it says Hibu or Blur or Ball. How was Payday? Was great. You're having a fun time with it and actually trying to do stealth for once? Excellent. I didn't get the gold edition for Payday 3. I'm waiting till it's out on the Xbox Game Pass, but I did play Payday 2. I will be real. I'm a little bit more of a fan of, like, before I had the mods in Payday 2, I was most often being a stoic and going in loud with double shotguns. Just like, ba-bam, ba-bam, or bam, click, click. Like that. But then I found a mod where it could, some of it could be broken as you want, where it was like, oh, even if you killed someone who was like, who discovered you or something like that, there wouldn't be a radio thing. I had it where if I killed someone and they didn't notice me, then the radio wouldn't go off, which is absolutely fantastic. And that's how I went through a lot of my stealth games. And I felt like that was like just the best way to enjoy Payday 3 if you wanted to do a stealth run. Thank you for the Hyper Himbo Faded Frocks. Oh my god, I'm missing so much of chat. I need a bigger chat window. I need like an absolutely like tall one. I need one of those monitors that is like portrait mode instead of landscape mode, so then that way I can just have like this obscenely tall feed in 1440p. It'd be fantastic. Alright, so Zathium. And then it's like, alright, so who came with you? The old Brew, Volanos, Novu, Mercury Wolfo, and then Lurk. Hi. I still have a bit of a loud setup as that's how I usually play, though I'm getting used to stealthing with 3 now as I explore the new perks a bit, though despite a level 26 or so, I haven't even unlocked like 25% of the perks. Ah, okay. Not to worry. I reckon, like, we've had Payday 2 for like 10 years. And we've had a lot of time to optimize out of the grind and what have you. And there's been a lot of like patch content and expansions. I feel like the developers are expecting to do the same sort of thing for Payday 3. I don't think they're gonna do like a yearly thing with it, like everyone is doing with Diablo and Apex and Fortnite and such like that. But I reckon they'll do something to continue pumping out more content and such. Ooh, we can play the piano. We could probably play it better than that, dude. Like, come on. What is he playing? It's like, play it. No, play it again. Play it again. I don't know what he's playing, I'm sorry to say. Makes no sense to me. Looking at their brief roadmap, they have an update plan for winter of 2023 already. That'll be interesting.
Unexpected guests are welcome.
Antonia.
Don't insist on reservations.
Pull the lever.
Huh? No, don't pull the lever.
And this is my hotel. Welcome.
Darn you.
Oh, I knew from the moment we met that you're Geppetto's puppet. He might have a few loose screws.
Oh, she knows who I am.
Geppetto's skills are undiminished.
Nice.
It's a shame. He took off for Elysian Boulevard. And he never came back. If it doesn't turn up soon, we'll have to make a new coffin. Oh, I forgot. I was keeping this for him. It comes with a long... Please find that old man.
Ooh, someone's memory. Alright, the uniform of a sophisticated and dignified boarding school. These clothes have been worn before. It's of a famous boarding school in Krat. The initial M is engraved on the elegant pouch. Oh, look at that. We're a sailor boy now. Look at us being a sailor boy. We had the option of looking like a fucking... I'm gonna be real with you. This looks like a twink vampire's attire. And then this is like what the twink vampire would dress their, like, assailants up in. What is his name? Renfield or something in the classic thingy-madoogs? And then extra bag. Let's put... Alright, so... How do I... obtain this? The Vinigrini Krat Landmark Guide. This month's attraction is the hotel. Hotel Krat is one of the city's creepiest and most mysterious buildings. According to lore, Hotel Krat is an isolated castle built by an aristocrat devoted to a form of occultism after receiving a revelation from a radiant tree. At one point, it was used as a mental institution, and some patients said they saw hallucinations. However, no records remain as they were all destroyed in a large fire. Above all, being so far underground just compounds the rumors. Some even say that it's connected to an unknown hell. But now the rumors have served to embellish a charm of Hotel Krat, which has been renovated in the latest style. As the recent rumors of the Grand Exposition ghost hotels spread, more customers are actually looking to stay at the hotel. Next is a comment from the hotel's owner, Miss Antonia. A ghost hotel? I've heard that more times than I can remember, but unfortunately, our hotel guests are brave like lions. It's not a problem at all. Rating, 4 out of 5. Creepy and mystical. Best resort in Krat. This guide was made with the support of Venigi Company, a friend of the city. Nice. Alright, let's keep looking around. There's a weird thing under covers there. Who's this? Hello.
I heard about you from Geppetto, but to see you in person, wow.
Oh, it's a woodpecker that's doing that
Geppetto left
noise.
this with me.
Oh, what did I get? You love the music? The music is nice. The music gives an ambience. The fuck is that? It's a fucking grappling hook. The Legion Arm. Legion Arm is special equipment that is equipped on the left arm. Each Legion Arm has its own combat ability. Legion Arm can be modified into all sorts of forms. Modifications can be made using the Venigi craft machine. Nice.
The sound of it alone. That craftsmanship comes only from the hands of Geppetto.
Huh.
You must be something else. A custom arm from Geppetto himself is quite an accessory. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Eugenie from the Workshop Union.
Union!
I know if any of your weapons need work, bring them to me.
Sorry, I just got excited when they said union. There's workers' rights in this fuck- Oh, what's this? I organize this place according to the rules, so don't touch anything. Noted. That's a little crazy. But yeah, amazingly enough, robots getting oppressed, and we have a union for the engineers. Nice. That goes outside. I want to keep exploring. What's this? Can I... Check records in possession. Ooh, interesting. Alright, so we got other music we can try out. Hello, robot.
Welcome to Hotel Krat.
Hello.
My name is Polendina, butler to Lady Antonia.
Hello, Polendina.
Please let me know how I may be of service. At Hotel Krat, comfort and calm walk hand in hand.
It could also be like a pile driver. Don't put this AC nonsense into this game. This is in the past, not in the present. Ask about the Grand Covenant.
The Grand Covenant is a set of absolute commands imprinted on puppets when they are made. First law. All puppets must obey their creator's commands.
Oh.
Second law.
That's the first one?
May not harm humans. Third law. A puppet protects and serves humans and the city of Krat. Fourth law. A puppet cannot lie. I've told you about the laws engraved upon every puppet. Do you require anything else?
Why don't the puppets listen to that? Let's see, I can purchase shit. Sawtooth Leal, a Legion's thingamadiggy. Interesting. And then I can just sell stuff. Alright. So I'm guessing this must be like the central, what's-mahoozies, like where we're gonna be going back to a lot of the time. Look at me. Look at me just doing the gritty. You need Rosa Isabel's street key. Alright, so that's obviously to protect me from thingies. Uh-huh. It's locked tight. And then there's bags in front of that door. I wonder if this upsets people seeing me run like this. Oh, are we still in the hotel? Like, this isn't actually... Hang on. Alright, so that leads us outside. There are black market merchants who sell items in various places around Krat where there is a dire lack of public order despite the risks. People call them wandering merchants. I guess they didn't want to call them black merchants. Look at me in my sailor's outfit. Aren't I a pretty boy? A pretty dangerous boy. I am the prettiest boy at the ball. Ladies?
Hey, let's be more careful. The Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I hate these guys. But don't be alarmed. My name is Gemini. We'll talk later, when we're safe.
Okay. Oh, we can just walk right through it. Alright, fine. Uh-huh. Alrighty. Prepare the Stargazer. I can see a guy down there I need to worry about. Alrighty. let's see how this works. Nice. And then he's trying to break a door down. Cookie for Jason. Hi there, Jason. I am streaming a little bit earlier than you intended. Thank you for the boops. Oh, direction is very important in this game. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Thank you for being my biggest fan, Zarix. I very much appreciate it. Welcome. Alright, we got a throwing thing. Dink.
At least
Hello,
Boulevard was a regular rich people.
Hello.
You wanted fancy boutiques and shops. No place better. But that was long ago, before the puppet frenzy.
Ow. Uh-huh. Nice. Oh, I thought that would take him out. And then a lot of dead people. Oh, but a chest. What does this do? It's got the Illuminati, not the Illuminati, the Freemasons. A lot of 5150. And equipped from the menu equipment defense. Yep, cool, noted. Okay. Oh, ladder. That's why. Up the ladder we go. I'm killing puppets. Puppets. What's First Ascendant? I have never heard of that game before. Oh. There we go. Excellent. There we go. That knocks you out. I can grab this. And then that will probably lower... Yep, it is. Think of Destiny mixed with Warframe. At least that's what you've heard. Oh, is it... Wait, is it done by Digital Extreme? Is it like their next game, after, like, other than Warframe? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, here comes a guy with an axe. Nice. Ooh, that was amazing. Star fragments cross dimensions to grant human wishes if you wish for it desperately enough. Nexon. Oh, okay. Soulframe is what Digital Extreme is working on. Ah, okay. Interesting. Nexon was kind of under hot water because of their P3 project. It's going to be interesting to see what First Descendants is all about. So... Because Nexon had this fun little issue of... There we go. Close quarters. Done. So, because I know, like, some peeps are working on, like, all different kinds of games, and it's mostly going to be, like, the whole, you know, perpetually running kind of online games. But I thought we were moving towards, like, some interested parties doing... That's bullshit. Good to know. Fuck you. I didn't realize the bullet had enough to knock me back. Bullets don't normally have that level of momentum, by the by. It's never usually that high. Also, where is my fucking ladder? Hello. There we are. There. So far, you're enjoying the intro. It's lagging a little bit behind. Okay, okay. I'll definitely have to have a Google to see what it is that Nexon is making. Although I really shouldn't be getting into too many new games, considering I've already got, like, enough as is, especially in the whole online running department. Get fucked, good sir. Alrighty, moving on. Now I gotta deal with the crazed axeman here. Oh, the crazed axeman isn't here. The fuck? Oh, I guess he's a one-time thing. That's good to know with some of those, like, mini-bosses. There we go. Alrighty then. Ow! You motherfucker. Alright, you get in here then. Oh, Jesus. Darn you, sir, and your... Darn you, sir, and your, what's-a-mahoozies. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I was worried I was just gonna jump off it. I was honestly worried I was just gonna jump off it, and that would have just been a terrible mistake. Interesting. You can hit dead horses. Yep, was a good idea to go down the stairs, because now I can unlock this. Whatever this is. Oop. Nice, just plunge it into his heart. Where the fuck am I? Oh, wait, no, I know where I am. Okay, never mind. I know where I am. So, I've still got to go through Final Fantasy XIV. I'm trying to get my anima weapon done for the Dark Knight in that, which is being a bit of a grind, I will be real with you. I'm at a point where you have to, like, create some treated crystal sand, but in order to do that, you need to use poetics to get, like, this element. You need a lot of it. You need, like, 40 or 60, but you can only buy, like, 20 at a time when you're full, when you have, like, the full poetics. And then I need to get, like, this other kind of... And then I need to get, like, this other kind of element, which I could get it with poetics, but, you know, you need a lot of poetics. You need, like, 6,000 or something poetics, which is, like, way too many trips when I'm already having to use the Umbrite. So, right now, I'm just going through some Heaven's Ward leves to, you know, I'm stopping and starting, like, the same one for the chance for a treasure coffer to pop up so I can get, like, this treated amber thing. Alright. Do not rat me out. Nice. Because there's the guy up there. There we go. Wait, is that a real dog? Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's probably like down below that I can't get down to. Alright, then we gotta deal with you. There we are. Oh my god, the electric shock is not going down very fast. Alright. So, but yeah, once I'm like further in with Final Fantasy XIV, I then need to go back into Destiny 2 to get some of that nonsense over and done with as well. Because one of the things, like, I got like the Legacy Pack. And so far, oh my god, the fuck is that thing? A frozen man's letter. My Louise and Charlotte, my treasure. I can't hear anything. I think the streets are already dead. Nothing but silence. I assume that I too will become just another petrified corpse soon. I still remember the sound of your singing voice and the sight of Charlotte looking at picture books. I miss all of it. The best thing I did when I was alive was sending you and Charlotte to the cathedral for shelter. I wish this nightmare was all over. If only you and the kid would come back, but I guess now it's impossible. I love you, Louis. I pray that you are safe there. Alrighty. The fuck is that? And is it gonna be... Good. You're not gonna... There we go. Nice. And then... Come on. There we go. Nice. Attribute, purification, ampullae, and a star fragment. Nice. And a new equipment, I'm guessing, with these kinds of chests. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. So it gives you... So it can give you amulets as well, increasing the max HP. Yes, please. Alright, so this gives us a new ring, the Lad 150. The physical reduction is greatly increased. A made-to-order item specific to the ladder, the Puppet Parts Workshop. It has been in use for some time, so despite being heavy, it is reliable. I wonder if there's like a fat rolling thing in this. Because I don't have any like other like lightweight stuff. And then I cannot change that here. That's fine. Alrighty. Cool. None of this jump scaring nonsense. Alrighty. Sup, merchant?
Why, hello! I didn't know anyone was alive out here.
Yeah, me.
I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a burglar. I'm just crashing in an abandoned house for a while.
Are
Don't worry, I won't cause any trouble. We survivors need to look out for each other.
Alright.
For your information, I didn't steal this.
Good to know. An electric coil. You can disassemble it. It's blunt. And it's distributed across a number of different elements. Gemini's emergency protection. Temporarily protects death ergo when hit. Temporarily protects current ergo even in death. Oh, okay. More of the electric buzz. Attribute resistance. Temporarily increases attribute resistance. Nice. Legion charge. Throwing cells. An electric blitz canister. Nice. I know who to go to for this ship. Oh. Alright, T. That's a bit of a problem. Alright. You. So P stands for Pinnochio. Are you gonna play twice the game? Once when you always lie and the other when you say the truth? I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Teleport to another stargazer. Talk to Gemini.
I'm Gemini, your friendly puppet guide. Or friendly guide puppet? I don't know, one of those. I'm also a friend of Sophia's. Last time I woke up, Sophia was there because she woke me up. But I'm sure there are still other memories in there. Sorry. Must be the shock. Bear with me, and I'll do my best to guide you.
Nice. You can transfer from one stargazer to another. You can only travel to those you have activated. Stargazers within an event will be unlocked with a hint. Oh, cool. So there's one, and then there's two. And then I can teleport inside the house of the Ellison Boulevard. Alright, well, I'm full health now. And there's a big fella over there. Go. Did I actually time that? Alright, can I climb up and deal with you? Because I do not want you being a bother for me on the streets, wherever the fuck you are. Nice. Alrighty, Puppet Man, are you gonna climb upstairs? No, you're not. You're just gonna go back to your previous position, I suppose. Oh, god damn you! Darn. Thank Christ I'm not keeping track of how many times I die in this game. It will be terrible. There we go. Alright, use that to heal. Thank you. And then... Thank Christ, the thing is just floating up there instead of down here. Where's the chimney man? He was here a second ago. He's not here now. Oh, there he is. There we go. Yep.
Wait. I can sense something strange. Jeepers. Is that a butterfly?
Where?
Why is the ergo reacting like that? If you want to check it out, I can take point.
Oh, hello. Were you not expecting me to sprint? Oh, please don't fly, like... Nice. Occasionally, a dimensional butterfly will appear in part of carts. Monrad's lamp can detect the butterfly, lighting up red to point out its location. When the character is near the hidden butterfly, it will appear. After a certain amount of time, it will disappear into another dimension. Kill it to get useful. Oh. Well, I didn't want to kill it. I thought I was following it. God damn it, game. Why do you want me killing things? Like, don't get me wrong, I do like killing, but why? Okay. Oh, police officer. There we go. Nice. Fuck you. Ah. Trying my best to learn the whole parry thingy-diggies. Not easy. Yay, I'm back here. Alright, maybe... Okay, note to self. Kill the butterfly when I have the chance. Alrighty. You are... here. Nice. Alright, so you're dead. I need to deal with that guy before he catches wind. Hopefully he isn't gonna catch wind. No, it doesn't look like he will. Excellent. Get fucked. And then... No, you motherfucker, not again! Ah! I wanted to capitalize on him, like, you know, being on the edge to just be like, yes, let me knock you down. And instead, I lose all my echoes. Oh, wait, no, the echoes is still somewhere else. Interesting. Okay. Weird. I was not expecting the 2,000 echoes to just be still sitting wherever. There we go. God, I am glistened in oil like a Phyrexian. Look at all this oil on me. Maybe it's because of the fact that I... Nah. There we go. There we go. Giving us a hidden moonstone. You're happy? I killed it. Alrighty. Ooh, what's this say? Warning. Petrification disease quarantine zone. Note. Can I read that again, please? You don't let me read things. No trespassers. Everyone is a patient or a lunatic. Do not speak to them. Noted. So they're either crazy or something else. Meow. The perfect... Every time, the perfect guard. I know where it wants me to hit, and I'm just like... I'm preemptively blocking too soon. And that was a waste of my electrical thingy-majiggy as well. Which is unfortunate. There we go, and then there's you. That's you dead. I'm getting the timing of this thing down, weirdly enough. Alright, hug the wall. Climb up here. And... kill you. Getting me a star fragment, interesting. And then... or he just dies from the knockback. Excellent. And then... because that's not dangerous at all. Alright, man with an axe. Alrighty. Through the quarantine, down the ladder. Nice. Nice, and let's see how well we do here. Come on, there we go. Oh my god. Oh, nearly fucking die. That wasn't great. Oh. Goodness gracious, that would have... Slowly but surely. I am not perfectly skilled at this, I will be real with you. But it is what it is. Hello?
This must be your first time in the petrification disease quarantine zone.
Yep.
For most people, this is their time one. My family took my baby from me. A baby must be with its mother. Please go to Krat City Hall and bring me my baby.
Okay. Alright, I'll help.
Thank you so much, kind one. I can finally see my sweet Elena's face again. Please hurry. Hard scales spreading across my eyes before I lose my sight.
She said the baby was at City Hall. Should we check it out?
Yes, but first question, how do we get to City Hall? I don't exactly have a map telling me where to go. Torn doodle. It itches. Peel the skin and there's blue blood. Blue! Pretty cocoon, blue angel, joyful appetite, blue death, what a feast, death, 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 death. I'm alive, it itches. Cool, so we got, like, other shit to worry about. Alright, and then you're doing... Hi there! Hi, Dwarven Crafts! Yes, my pee lies to me. It's not pissing excellence. Interesting. Alright, I still can't do the revive. And... oh, would you look at that? A door. Alrighty. I have a small idea. Oh, Jesus, what the f... oh, not you want to use. Oh my gosh. Removes attribute status ailments. What? I don't have an ailment. I'm pretty sure I don't have an ailment. And then... the fuck is... hey! Nice. Bonk. Scorpion work. Get over here! I wonder I am very curious if I should try and play Mortal Kombat 1 when it comes out tomorrow. Like, I know a lot of people have already been playing it because they've got, like, the gold, whatsamahoozy thing. I dislike that. I am not a fan of system, like, I think I've done it maybe one time. Actually, no. Have I? Hang on. No, I have not. I have not purchased a game, like, with a pre-order to allow me to play it, like, 5 days ahead of time or anything like that. That kind of FOMO shit I have not done before, and I am very much against it. Because it's preying on the idea of, like, oh, if you buy this $5 thingy-majiggy pass, you're gonna have the opportunity to, you're gonna have the opportunity to play this game before all the sweaty people play it or something like that, and appreciate the story and have a conversation with those who also didn't have a chance normally to play it. And it doesn't work out like that. You purchase the like, the people who are purchasing it days ahead of time, they're also, like, probably really fucking good at the game. And because of the realm of the internet, you're going to deal with people that are playing the game better than you. And if you're gonna go into this $50, like, area of pre-order, you're probably going to deal with more of those people. So what ends up happening is that if you're one of those peeps who, in your friends circle, is good at the game and does the $50 purchase when none of them have done it, sure, you get to play the game ahead of time. But you're not getting your conversation or your stimulus of the game from those circles of friends. You're getting it from the internet, who is also purchasing the $50 game, or the $50, like, pre-order bonus or something like that. So by the end of it, you spent like $50 extra to try and play a game 5 days ahead of time, when the only other people who would be playing it like you are everyone else who has a lot more time or a lot more effort to play it. So any semblance of, oh, it's just like going to the game store at midnight to pick up a midnight copy of Halo Reach and playing it before I have to go to school tomorrow, it's not that. You're never gonna have that experience again. You're not gonna get a pre-order, get it done in, like, however many hours or days you have before the weekend is over, and you go back to school and you talk to your friends who have also pre-ordered the game and waited with you at midnight to play it. It's not gonna happen again. It's quite frankly not. You know what is gonna happen? Difficult games that have a curve that a majority of people get caught up in and such like that. The magic of Elden Ring isn't the fact that it was difficult. That's not the only thing, let me just say. It is a difficult game, but it had this magical quality where the hardcore, the sweaties of Elden Ring and From Software, they obviously will get through the game however quickly they will and such. But those are always like a fringe group. That's like 10% of the populace. The remaining, like, 90% or however many percentage of the populace that isn't that crazy level, you're in that, like, 80% populace. You're gonna take your time, and you'll see on Twitter, even after you play the game for a week, one of the trending tags will be the boss that you just dealt with or are currently dealing with right now. There is a much greater sense of camaraderie with the internet when it comes to Armored Core and the From Software games in general. Because when going through Elden Ring, everyone was hitting the Blade of Miquella at the same time in the majority sense. Everyone in the majority sense was having the same sort of issues with Lani of the Moon, or with Geralt, or with Margit. We all were kind of at pace with this, like, great filter that was going off, which cannot be replicated when you give us a game like Mortal Kombat or Payday 3 and you ask us to pay the full price and a $50 extra to try and get ahead of it. You're not going to get the camaraderie on the internet like you did with Halo Infinite when you went, or sorry, Halo Reach when you went into the school playground. It's not going to happen with that kind of game anymore. And that is my PSA for don't pre-order games. I will probably have a similar PSA next month because there are so many fucking games being released. No, that's not spooky at all. I don't remember you being there. Nice. Ow. Oh, that's interesting. I can't use my arm anymore. There's a limit to how many times I can use it. That's a problem. But hey, I can go through the alleyways. That's interesting. More hidden moonstones. Alrighty. So yeah. I wonder if Twitter is gonna trend with like Lies of P shit. Okay, I see what you're trying to do there. And it was like moderately successful. Alrighty. There we go. Weapon durability is back up. Now we can go back down this alleyway. And... nice. And then I can just look at my clothes. Interesting. I like being smart. Gemini's emergency thingamabob. Thank you. There's an axeman. Yep, there's the axeman. Alright, cool. Yep. What happened to my arms? There we go. Now they're working again. Catalyst and Star Fragment. Cool. So, there is a limit to how many of those thingamadiggies I can hold. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Leo. I do have a nice cock. I just can't show it on stream because that's TOS. God, it's been so long since I've done like a 3DX animation. Like so fucking long ago. Hello. There we go. So yeah, not done it in a long... Nope. Electric shock was not what I wanted to do.
Thanks
Leo!
for the Prime subscription.
Thank you for the Prime sub!
932.
Nice work, and just in time. There's an advertisement going off in a few seconds that you don't have to deal with. Congratulations! And you get to use all of these fun emotes. Look at these boys. Look at all these Zeebs. Do you have a have a look at them. Have a try for a month. See what you like. Come back to me. Tell me what your favorite is. I have a favorite in there. I will be real with you. And it's not the butt one. That's the most recent one I got, but that's not my favorite. One of my favorites is one I've had for a while now, and you'll see me use it quite a few times. I wonder if you can guess. It's in like a lot of other different people's streams as well. Who am I talking? Oh, you.
Who is it? Is that you, Murphy? Oh. Murphy is a super cool police officer. I wish I was like him.
Alright. You like these? Okay, let's see. So you've got the angry face, you got Zephora's crying and Keck W, and you've got the the Pog one is pretty decent. Mutasaur was the one that made the Pog one, and that's meant to be like that's meant to be an icon, not an emote. So that one is a little bit shrunk, compared, like, there's a lot of detail technically getting lost from it. I understand, but that's that one was done by Mutasaur. The Keck W and the crying is done by Zephora. She's absolutely amazing of an artist. She's a partner on Twitch. I don't know if she's part of the Twitch ambassador. No, that's Mega. Mega is part of the Twitch ambassadors. But yeah, and then the angry face is done by Chadzu. It's done by Chad. Is the best way, or Chase? Sorry, not Chad. Chase. He's not a. He is a Chad, but his name's not Chad. If you catch my drift. Oh my god, so many dead things. Jesus Christ. Oh boy.
Come out, Geppetto! You got a lot to answer for!
Oh no. Hello?
You know what caused the puppet frenzy, don't you? You're their maker, practically their father! You and the alchemist scheming together. Tell me the truth!
Why is he got a donkey head?
I'm here for the old man. Get lost.
I'm technically here for him as well.
I know you. Or more like, I know what you are. You're the devil's puppet.
Hey, that's me.
Can't sneak past me. Die!
That's not good.
It's destroyed for sure.
Okay, I had like no health to help me out with that one, so that one was not fair. But we got some running to do, chat. We gotta see whether or not I can defeat the donkey. Alright? Come along with me to the better bad and bees. Wait, is this the right way? Yes, this is the right way. Who will win? Also, how many? 1 minute to go. 100% says yeah. Alright. 50 seconds. Why is there no, like, bar thingy-majiggy on that thing? Also, there better not be anyone that's being like, sorry, I didn't see the thingy-madoog. It's like, you most certainly have. Thank you very much. Don't lie to me. Also, I need a... Oh no. There was an issue with authenticating with the thingy-madoog. That's okay. Actions. Prediction start response. I need to copy that. Paste it there. Because the start response isn't what I want to do. Alright. Save. Alright, there we go. Okay then. We got one person saying that I'm gonna win this. I love your confidence. You're about to lose 50 points, knowing your luck, however.
I'll kill you both, then string you up on the bridge.
my god, another raid! Hi, Danny! I'm dealing with a fucking donkey right now. He's a little bit fast.
Cursed puppet! Back again!
I was able to get behind him. Okay, that was impressive. Okay, am I supposed to be able to do that with humans? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I found his cheese.
I demanded the truth. Now I feel bad for my comrade.
Kill the bastards and the sweet. So this is a stalker that we just killed, because the achievement said we killed a stalker. How is Lunastance? Oh yeah, that's Pinnochio, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's Pinnochio, I'm pretty sure. The old man is Geppetto. This guy, Geppetto.
Finally, we meet, son.
It's a dream come true. Seeing you like this.
Yep.
I understand why some people despise me. I invented the puppets, after all. I should take responsibility as their maker. But in order for me to do that, I need to take care of the puppets at City Hall. Won't you help me, son? Take this. You'll find it most useful.
Mad Donkey's hunting apparel, the mask, a city key. When dealing with non-human... The thingy-madiggy went by too quickly. Where is the item? Here it is. An activate function. The Enigma and Centimally tool. When dealing with a non-human enemy, it was necessary to do away with common sense. The workshop and the stalkers assembled various blades and handles, focusing on making the greatest weapons. Nice. A police... Oh! I think I got that from something. And then those are our arms. And then I grab those. New costumes. Lol. So I can just wear his shit. Alrighty then. Oh, so it's a blunt weapon with motivity in B. Interesting. The reason needs no explanation. Nice. Damage reduction while guarding is 51. Gather your strength for a big forward slash. Sounds good.
I want to hear all about your experience.
Oh my god, the ears have like fucking
isn't a good time.
Physics to them in the breeze.
Use the Stalker's key to open the bridge door. Then get rid of the frenzied puppets that have seized City Hall. We'll catch up at Hotel Krat when you're done.
Alrighty then. Oh, something new to pick up. Wait, am I... Slightly heavy, 74%. Okay, so I am fat rolling. Alright, so... Unequip then. Puts me to 58 then. Alright, I'm gonna give this a try. See how... Oh no, it makes me So 60% is the cutoff for the whole you are over encumbered thing. Interesting. Alrighty. Reassemble this. You won 50 points back. Oh, yes. Hang on a second. I need to say that I did that fight. Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I won the boss fight through what I feel like was cheese, then. Because I don't think I was supposed to be able to, like, run behind him repeatedly that way and do the whole stabbing him in the back thing. Alright, let's see if I can get you. I'm trying to, like, do the whole, like, learning the perfect guard stuff. Never mind. I was going to die then. I am not going to... I'm trying to, like... I'm trying to practice. I'm trying to get into the feels for the perfect guard thing. So then that... Because
So
it definitely wants you...
assembly tool you were talking
It wants you to, like, be able to do...
Find any more weapons?
that.
Let's try using them here.
Assemble weapons. Assemble weapons through Eugene at the hotel or at the Stargazer in different areas. You can assemble and disassemble. Alright, cool. I like the idea, but I'm gonna need more weapons to try out. Alright. 2. Nope, still. Nice, so that broke him. Yep. Okay. Wasn't exactly what I wanted. Oh, here we go. Go. Good timing there. Practice makes perfect. Go. It's not perfect. And I need to be perfect. I wonder if I could break my blade doing that, like just overcharging it. There we go. Alrighty, you there, good sir. A duel, if I will. Nice, so I broke his blade. And then... Alright, so here we go, here we go. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn it. Alrighty. Still not perfect with the blocking, but I guess that's just comes with the territory of being just a bit shaky. Interesting symbols here. No idea what that means. Oh, it's the petrification shit from the looks of it. A vivid ergo. Weird naming scheme, but okay. Alright, so big fellow over there. Let's give it a try. I used to do this guy with a little more ease than before, but not so, it seems. Alright, there we go. Star fragments, throwing cell, and a Legion's magazine. Nice.
Oh no. No survivors here. What do we do? Just give her that baby puppet?
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm not gonna be responsible for breaking her heart. Alright, Crazy Crows. Mr. Vaniji's ambition to make a jolly police mascot puppet for City Hall ended in failure. His passion to make a trustworthy friend for the citizens and a strong officer who overcomes criminals was in the right place, but turned out to be excessive. The new police officer's puppet overcharged storage battery exceeded its capacity, causing chain explosions, malfunctions, and serious body damage. The city council recommended disposing of the puppet on the grounds that its appearance intimidated visitors, but Mr. Venigni and the taxpayers protested, halting the council's plans in its tracks. The puppet still lies abandoned behind City Hall to this day while the lawsuit is ongoing. The interesting thing is, even when the puppet is unattended, it performs a number of its mascot roles. It is easily popular with children, and it even appears to react and respond to the playing of children. However, it has led to more slum children entering City Hall and causing inconvenience to visitors. The City Council is considering exhibiting the puppet only occasionally as a means to restrict entry. Will you be my friend? Everyone is gone. I'm all alone now. Well, that is a very morbid fucking message. Oh. Nice. Oh, chest. I was expecting an adversary here, but I guess we can just accept the chest as is. No problems there. The Puppet Destroyer Amulet. Increases the damage inflicted on puppets. I'm too heavy when I do that. Alrighty, note to self. Make myself hold stuff more. Use a star fragment at the cracks calling next to the boss area to summon a specter. It will help your character in a boss battle. Nice. Unfortunately, I have no health potions, so I'm gonna run back to wherever the thingamadoogie is, and then we're gonna go and fight the thing. Excuse me, why? Dun, 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 dun. Sprint! Alrighty. Stare at the stargazer thingamadoog. And let's get down to business. Also, okay, what's something that I've been carrying? Catalyst to supply puppet abilities, rapidly charges Fable. Increases the Legion's arm's specific ability. Sounds good to me. Ha ha. Oh god, he's still there. Go. Alrighty then. Do you wish to use a star fragment to awaken a specter? Yes, please. Fa la 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 la. Hang on, I gotta snooze something. There we go. Hopefully that's done something. I don't know. And we're fighting that thing. Wait, is this just a gargoyle from the Belfry Tower? Oh, here comes... I'm guessing that's the police puppet mascot they were talking about in the news article. He is ugly. Obscene. Nope. A minute and a half is probably not enough time. was an easy loss. Even with the person helping me, I should have learned that I was probably not going to be able to succeed on the first try with that boss, especially if I was having trouble with, you know, the quintessential, like, tutorial bosses. Alrighty, let's go pick up my shit. Cookie for Leo! Alright, are you yeah, you're following me, you son of a bitch. There we go. Hope you enjoyed your cookie. Nice, and I did that without losing out on any of my health when I did that. Alright, let's summon the thingy-madiggies again. Will I win? Will I lose? I think I know exactly what I am doing in this regard. Let's find out. Hopefully no one is just sort of sitting there wondering what the F is this zebra doing. He has no talent. He has no business doing all of this, like, you know, the lies of peace nonsense. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we do these. Anyone voting? Hey, we got some voters. All right, we got someone saying, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Someone saying, nah. We got some naysayers and we got some yesers. All right, so weapon durability, charge that up. Thank you. Geppetto's thingamadiggy, we can turn that off or we can turn it back on. That's my thingamadooks. Okay, so that does that. Alrighty. Let's... How many more seconds? 15 more seconds. 15 seconds? 10 seconds? 5 seconds. That was annoying. Hi there, Saber! Oh, Jesus. Let me heal myself. There we go. so there's a little red pool for where it wants me to stand to do the thing. Hey, Zeebs, you're in Star Trek mood? You've been watching Star Trek Enterprise Season 1. I don't know how to tell you this, Wild Saber. There's something very important that I'm gonna have to tell you. I'm not a Trekkie. The only, like, Star Trek I've seen is the movies with Zachary Quinto and Chris Pine in them. You know that trilogy? Those are the only Star Trek media that I've seen. I did watch Seth MacFarlane's The Orville, however. That was pretty fun. That was pretty cool, and from what I hear, it's like the best like Star Trek that's not Star Trek. So it's got that going for it, which is nice. Ooh, what's over here? A faded whistle for friends. All right, so you can get a friend with a faded whistle. Dear citizens of Krat, the factory has been occupied by the puppets. I was about to say muppets. That was weird. The factory has been occupied by the puppets. Whatever the cause, Venigni Company is responsible for it. I, Lorenzini Venigni, am going alone to stop those devils. The factory is very dangerous now. Stay out of it and keep safe. The rest I'll leave to Mr. Geppetto, whom I trust more than anyone. God save us all. Regards, Lorenzini Venigni. You had to have such a weird-ass pasta name, didn't you? Someone type that in chat. The Lorenzi Venigni. His name's gonna pop up again, don't you worry. Like, knowing the ego of the man, his name is going to pop up.
Whew, I think we're done here, pal. Back to the hotel.
You need the... What? But... What? Gosh darn it. So I can't get into the courtyard. Meow. Alright, I need a teleport to a different section. Teleport to a different thingy-majiggy. Not to City Hall. Here it is. So I need to teleport to this location because apparently the doll and the whistle are important. Geppetto is an exceptionally talented and tenacious genius craftsman. Morning, Minty Fresh. Well, it's the evening for me, but I guess it's the morning for you. How are things? You doing well? You're having an okay time? Get over here. Bam, boom. Don't mind me wearing a donkey's head. It's funny this way. It's funnier this way, okay? Don't you worry about it. Alrighty. I need to get to a woman. You're Gucci, just had breakfast and you're still waking up. How am I today? I'm fairly alright. I got to work from home today, which is fairly nice. I've been able to work from home on the Tuesdays and the Fridays, which is pretty decent. The only trouble is that there are some days where I'm like, There are some days where I'm just sort of like, I don't know if I'm doing, you know, an effective job on those days working from home. And, you know, I feel like that just comes with the territory of my job being relatively, like, I only help the people within the company I work for, but it's still, like, customer-facing in a way. So when I'm working from home trying to do that kind of stuff, sometimes it feels a little bit alienating trying to do it from home. And there was just this fun little moment when my boss, who, like, I thought we haven't had this boss for a while. We've now had this boss for about, you know, several months now. We've had him since, like, I want to say the start of the year. Like, we've had him for a while now. Probably February or something. So he's definitely been here for longer than 6 months. And he asked me, it's like, oh, like, quick question. Well, it was like something along the lines of, oh, what's a what's a major project you contributed to in the last year? And I had a moment of like, oh my gosh, what have I done in this company besides just doing my like daily thing? What's a project I've done? And that spooked me for a bit. What did Wild Saber write? Star Trek Enterprise is interesting for the fact it takes place where Starfleet was founded, and the first Enterprise didn't have the shield and phasers that we are normally familiar with. It's an interesting series to start with if you've never seen Star Trek. I've seen the movies. Does that count? I've seen the Star Trek movies with J.J. Abrams directing them. All right, we gotta give this woman her doll.
Found her, kind one. I could sense her from miles away. Oh, my sweet Elena.
She's getting help from a donkey.
Please let me hold her. Oh, there, my baby. I missed you so much. What do you think?
She's a cute baby.
That's right, kind one. You've granted me my only wish. My sweet Elena. We're going to be happy now. Thank you so much, kind one. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude.
Oh, we get like a... Yay, we can play records back at the hotel. Excellent. Alright, and then we go down here because I'm fairly sure there's another mission for us, or there's another window we need to get to. Is it this person's window? No, it isn't. It's someone's window. Never mind the dog, he was robotic. Alrighty. There we go. That's another one. Another one bites the dust. Can I talk to you? No, it's not this one. Which window was... Oh, there's a thingy-majiggy here. An urgent repair tool. Excellent. Alright, well, thankfully I have not been... Nice. Alrighty. Where is the dude's... There was a house that I had to look into. There we go. Okay. It's not that window. Where is the dude's window? It's not that one. I'm looking for a window, a very particular window, because there's a whistle I could be giving to someone, and I don't know where the whistle goes. There's just these random window lights lit. Go. Is it this guy's window? No. Where's the fucking window? Nope. Nope. It's not this one. Nope. Oh, someone coughing. That means this one?
If only we could play together like we used to. Murphy, I miss you. If only we could play. Murphy.
Okay. So we got different throwable items. We got different materials. We got a core. Legion arms, defense tools, amulets, costumes, collectibles. Alright, so we got the small wooden officer puppet. A shapeless toy carved from wood and painted over. It has the strange appearance of a hunchback, but it was obviously made with care. String, summer. The child made Murphy by carving wood and painting him with stolen paint. Fall Murphy, who received Murphy as a gift. Never let go of it. A faded police whistle. It's been worn smooth from use. The children blew the whistle for their friends. He may have been discarded as a failure, but in those moments at least, he was the children's police officer.
Hey, that sound. Is that you, Murphy?
Okay, so I can use that.
I know that whistle. It must be Murphy. Thanks for coming by. I miss Zach and Sophie and Eric. I wish we could all play.
Nice. So, using the whistle near him was, like, the solution. And I got myself a thingamadoogie for my troubles. Even more excellent. Alright, let's climb up. Can I? Yep, alright, so pressing B is, like, the go fast button. And it's either going to be going fast in... Oh, not that way. It's either going to be go fast up or go fast down when on a ladder. Excellent. Nice little exploring here and there. Alright, let's use this to get back to the hotel. I got some stuff I can use to level up as well. You can level up through Sophia using the Ergo in your possession. You can increase your stats when you level up. Nice. Madman's hunting apparel. Gotta look presentable. Did the loading be a nose groaning? What? A nose growing? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Saved Geppetto. Wonderful. He is on the second floor. He can hardly wait to see you. I'll use my power to help you.
Yes, please level up. Alright, so capacity is my legion and my weight. So I can increase that by quite a few levels if I wanted to. I'll put it to 15, and then... Yep, I reckon that's a nice distribution of the two. About Ergo.
Is the miracle that made Krat prosper. Without Ergo, there would be no automated puppets to make Krat wealthy. When you move, you gather more Ergo. In the folklore of Krat, a cricket often acts as a guide, but Gemini is unique. As you get more familiar with Gemini,
let's see what this sounds like. Close your eyes. Dance the night away with me.
Close your eyes.
Oh, it has a... Okay, cool.
Come to me. Feel alright. Just dance with me all through the
That
night.
sounds very dangerous. Geppetto usually isn't so reckless. The pain of his grief may be clouding his judgment. You and Geppetto are always welcome at this hotel. Geppetto's room is on the second floor. You can stop by whenever you like.
Nice music. Absolutely lovely.
Cool part you got there. Come here for a sec. I picked up traces of high-powered energy originating. Why don't we make a Legion arm with it? Mr. Vanini is the expert when it comes to Legion arms. The puppets get fried easily by electricity. If you use an electric Legion arm, it'll...
Fulminous. Nice. Okay, so that's how I swap it. Okay. A little bit made of metal, throws forward strong punches. Puppet thingy, and then fullness. Taking B from motivity and advance. Yes, please. Alright, so that's where I go to change the thingamajigs.
You're going to the factory. He's the richest man in Krat. A little eccentric, maybe, but a good person. I heard he went to shut the factory down.
Interesting. Alright, 1, 2. I wonder how far it can go. Okay, not that far. It's a close range thingamadiggy. Good to know. I can't, you know, just be whatever distance I want. Great fortune to all visitors. Rest for all travelers. Oh. Blessing to all friends. Blessings to all friends. Nice to know. Alrighty. Sounds good. Oh, we can't use our weapons in here. Just full stop. Good to know. What does the robot gotta say?
To Hotel Krat.
About stalkers.
Are Krat's vigilantes. There are two groups of them. The Bastards and the Sweepers. The Bastards are an organization of guards for the alchemists and the workshop. Motto, honor or nothing. The Sweepers are an organization of guards for the old families of Krat. Motto, we always repay what is owed. Historically, the relationship between the two groups has been turbulent. That is what little I know beyond the hotel.
And then it's just more of those items. And then we can sell things if we wanted to. I don't see an advantage to selling anything at the moment. Oh, I just realized this giant sun in the thingamadiggy that looks like a pocket watch. I am not really good at remembering things. I am absolutely atrocious. And this is Geppetto's room, I imagine.
I feel good on you. Alright. Make a groove all night.
He's got a lot of things here. So he's got these kinds of puppets. A lot of work with the brain, interestingly enough.
Close your eyes. Come to me.
That's a weird sort of web below the head, though. Although a lot of his work is with the brain. Just don't understand what's going on with, like, below the heart, though. He knows there's more to the body, right? Like there's a spine that helps.
You've returned. Forgive a sentimental father for worrying about his son. Always remember that you're precious to me, even when I ask you to do something dangerous. Speaking of which, there's a factory just beyond Elysian Boulevard. It's packed with countless puppets. My friend, the inventor Vanini, went to stop them, but he never came back. Please, go save him and shut down the factory.
Oh, what's happening with his heart?
Organs are the source of your powers. Collect quartz to get the strength you need.
That's cool mechanic to see. The way the heart pumps is interesting for sure. I quite like it.
Remember, the hotel is the last safe place in Krat. It's our only refuge in a city full of perils. It'll be extremely dangerous if anyone has ill intentions. Be careful who you tell about this place, especially if they're stalkers or alchemists. Be wary of dangerous people. And always be a good boy to me.
Oh! Use the P organ slots to activate your character's latent abilities. Equip quartz on the P organs to obtain its corresponding effect. If you equip quartz in each of the slots in a single group, you gain the group's synergy effect. Each time the synergy effect of two groups are activated, the next step is unlocked. You can get a greater variety of effects as you take your P organ to higher phases. Huh.
Close your eyes.
How many quartz do I have? Okay, I got 2 quartz. I think I am gonna go for...
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. So, let's see. So, we can go for...
Close to you.
Increase the amount gained from eliminating enemies. Charge a certain amount when an enemy is eliminated. Lower the consumption of charge. When a perfect guard is successful. Enable guard recovering when attacking. Lower the damage received when pulse cells are discharged.
Just want your step when we dance. Here when we feel alright. I feel good on you.
Alright, I'm gonna increase the ego. Then... Okay, so you can't equip multiple of the same type. That's fine. Stagger attack. There we go. So that's phase... Alright, so we get 2 quartz. Oh, we can... Oh, is this what we use to improve our heart? Yep. No saved shape memories on the device. Interesting. Hi there, Leo. Hi there, Furry Cures. Good morning to you.
From City Hall to the factory with the key I just gave you. Vanini gave me that. And now he's missing. Rescue him if you can.
Alright.
I feel good. Just walk your steps when we dance, when we hear when we feel.
I was kind of done with the lyrical music. Records you obtain while playing the game can be played using the gramophone at the hotel. You can listen to music on the record to obtain humanity. Interesting. So listening to music makes me human. Will be interesting to see how this works out. Equip quartz in a P to activate the corresponding. Activate all slots in one group for a unique synergy effect. Now lying. You can't see it because it's behind me, but instead of saying now loading, it says now lying, which is a very interesting phrasing. Yep, alright, so that's fully charged. We now go this a ways. Because there was like a courtyard we couldn't get to until we had a key, but apparently we have a key now. Yep, there we go. I wonder if there's a day and night cycle.
Vanini Works. Everything you see here belongs to Vanini, the classiest playboy and most brilliant inventor in Krot. Just ask him. Not just puppets. Almost every machine and tram in Krot is supplied from here. You gotta be curious about the guy. What kind of person is he? I wish we could find him. That is, if he's still kicking.
Knowing our luck, he probably is. Oh. Alright, kind of crazy. And I've probably committed to like one particular path as... Motherfucker. That guy has a fucking wheel on his head. You're just lurking, Leo? That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Oh! I forgot to do something. I forgot to say I succeeded in the thingamadiggy. Did I win the fight? Yes, I did. I need to ask Puffin how they do like a... Like, is there like a button I can put on the stream deck to be able to be like, yes, I succeeded, or no, like option 1, option 2 kind of thing. Ow, fuck you. Excuse me while I... Alright, here we go, here we go. It's... Oh, that was a risky hit there, but I survived. That's all that matters. There we go. Alright, survive that. Alrighty, let me take a ladder here. What was it that I could have gotten? More ergo. Good to know. Another Fable Catalyst. Fine by me. Oh, that's where the warning light is sounding from. Alright. Well, we can't get through those doors at the very least. At least not yet, I feel. Excuse me? Oh, that is some very workers' union bullshit if ever I've heard anything. Ah, yes. The crank of the engine you turn is for productivity. Good for you. Alrighty then. I'm not gonna deal with the big fella. I need to find some place to... Here. This is a good spot. No idea what the chain is for. Alright. Big stretch! Big stretch! Oh boy.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Electric Blitz is effective for subduing puppets. Get out if you're not a stalker. Noted. I got killed by a normie. Oh, hi there, Puffin! Oh my god, there's an advertisement that's going off. We got scam raided. I'm just gonna keep on waving until the... I'm gonna keep on waving until the thingy-majiggy is over. Because this is what it looks like right now. And if I do like a slow zoom in, and then I'm gonna zoom out. I probably look really ridiculous, like waving like this as well. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to the stream. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. I normally don't stream today, but tonight I was playing Lies of P, and I thought, I'm gonna stream this. Wouldn't it be funny if I just randomly started streaming? And then I did. How was Did you stick to Payday 3? Hang on a second. Yes, you did. How was Payday 3 for you? I snuck in. I watched you for a little bit. I then went on to a really dumb rant about pre-ordering games to get like a few days ahead of time and how that's a very like predatory practice and doesn't accomplish what people think it accomplishes. Hi there, Kalozi? And then Screen Ray. I see a Screen Ray. Puffin Och. Welcome, welcome. I will be real with you, however. I'm probably gonna get my shit back from one of the dolls, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Because I have been streaming for the last 3 hours. And I got work the next day. Fullness! Bam! You got work right now? Oh, damn. This is... Oh, no, that wasn't perfect. That wasn't perfect either. There we go. Perfect. That wasn't perfect. That was perfect. Here we go. Yeah! And then we do like the big swishy swashy. Mega says hi. Is Mega watching me right now or something? Also, hi there, Dusty. Yeah! Look at me and... don't watch that, Mega. Watch me fucking flex on Mega. Ah, shit. Wait, hang on. Full miss! No, don't walk backwards, you son of a bitch. Ow. This game really wants you to learn how to do a perfect guard, because if you don't do a perfect guard, you still get hit with a little bit of health problems. The only way you can block without worrying about a loss of health is if you do a perfect guard. See how I still get hit for a lot of health? But like, watch this. Oh, not that one. Not that one. That one, there we go. Not that one. That one, there we go. Yes! Hell yeah. And then look at this. Watch this shit. You ready? They were watching Puffin, but kind of busy right now, but said hi, so I delivered the hi for them. Hi, Dusty. Look at that. Also, I don't have to wear the sailor outfit. I don't have to wear the private school. I can wear, you know, the twink vampire outfit or the mad donkey outfit. And if I do, I can also wear the mad donkey head. Look at me. Nah. I'm a donkey in the game. Nah. Oh, okay, I can't walk through there. Nah. Alright, is this the right way? Nope, it's not the right way. There is corruption. That doesn't sound right. Have you guys seen that TikTok? Like, I think it's from the same, like, two peeps, but it's just like when you like have a significant other and you go into, you know, cat mode to get their attention, and you just see like the boyfriend going meow 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 meow, and he's like slowly like pushing cups off the table. He's just like meow 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 meow. I wonder if Mega tried doing that as a bit one time, pretending to be a cat to Aussie Griff and just being like meow 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 meow, and then just cackles. Mega laughs a lot. You ever notice? Mega, why do you laugh so much? Actually, is Mega still busy? Probably is. Mega is probably being the bestest that they can be as a Twitch ambassador.
This place gives me the creeps. It's like something's gonna jump out any second. It's okay, pal. Gemini's looking out for you.
Yeah. Mega awesome. Mega amaze. Alright, so that's where we were. Ow! Fuck you. Fuck all of y'all. Oh shit! Fire bad. Should have learned that fire bad, but I'm an idiot. Overheat occurs when fire damage builds up. Both your character and the monsters will take increased fire damage and receive continuous fire damage. In addition, monsters will experience slower natural HP recovery. Your character's guard regain recovery amount will decrease. The higher your fire resistance, the slower the overheat gauge charges speed. Use a purification and Poli to remove an ailment. Noted. Alrighty. I think... Actually, is there a... Ding, 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 ding. HUDs is on. Yep, cool. We get a guide for battle. There's a lock-on distance. There's a camera. Graphics, intro. Yay, it can tell us all kinds of things. Good to know. The fuck is decay? Oh, decay is that thing. Is the acid buildup. Corruption, disruption, shock, break. Alright. Apparently I'm level 27. But we're gonna take a break there. I got work tomorrow, and this is probably a good time to end the stream there. I will figure out whether or not I'm going to be playing Mortal Kombat or something entirely different. If I'm going to be playing Mortal Kombat, Lies of P, or maybe going back to Starfield. I don't think I'm going to go back to Starfield. I'm going to be real with you. I feel like Starfield is an okay Bethesda RPG game. I'm not a huge fan of it as a game playing on stream and such, because there's just so many like hours that I'm just sort of like, yep, I'm good. And I'm just like, you know, absolutely out of it and what have you. So we are gonna go on a raid. Let's go raid into Mega. Let's go raid into Mega. Let's see how she appreciates these raids. I need a raid message though, because the first thing that's popping up in my head is "Hi, Mega." That's the first thing that's popping up in my head is me just going "Hi," but I don't have a waving emote. Just dance. I don't have a dance emote either. Where are they? Alright, we're gonna go raid into... Let's see, are they gonna keep ranting on about being a little shit or something like that? We're just gonna do Hi Mega, because that's applicable. It's half tempting to just, you know, do the full-on Hello Mega, but I feel like that's a little too formal. I feel like Hello Mega is a little too formal, so we're just gonna go with Hi Mega. I feel like that's fine. Now, I will be back online tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm gonna be playing. It might be Lies of P, it might be Mortal Kombat 1. Who the fuck knows? I certainly don't, not even at this moment, especially as I have to go to work tomorrow anyway. But otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. Ado, if you're still here, thank you for the raid. Zethium, thank you for the raid. Danny, thank you for the raid. And Puffin, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.